Hello, hello, my lovely Aquas. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Aquas, you have the Castle in the Womb, the Bardo, the Sword, the King, and the Comic. Aquas. I mean, I just kind of feel like this same energy as before, but just this realization of like what it means to have a safe space. How it is that when you get caught up in an idea, sometimes it can be very confining, and how one way of doing things, that fixed energy that aquas have, is just that like, this is how it needs to be done. And so when it's not done in that way, like it doesn't feel right. And sometimes when it does do everything, like I think of a Virgo read that I had, oh my God, forever ago at this point, but that's where I'm at. So, but it's this idea of like, you have a checkbox, like or a checklist, and everything can be checked off on that list, and you're still not happy because it's not actually what you were, like, your soul is seeking. You know what I mean? It's just what your logic is demanding, And it's like, but that like logic that's demanding things, it still isn't satiating your soul. And you're realizing that these demands that you've created have in fact created a space that is not safe, but confining. And I think that there's just been a lot of things that have been going down, that you've just been seeing things differently. You've been seeing it through other people's eyes. I feel like there is like a touch of empathy that you have experienced, which is a big deal for an aqua, because not to say that you're not capable of experiencing empathy, but you're not ones to wallow in emotion. You tend to emotionally disconnect from things and logically assess them. And I just kind of feel like for a brief moment in time, you experienced empathy in a way that really opened your eyes to how this rigidity was really creating an unsafe space, and wanting to make a decision to really cut away with that rigidity so that you can really make a decision to move forward into a safe into a safe manner of approaching relationships and people. I feel like saying in the context of others. But we'll do clarifiers. Okay, Aquarius. The Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, the High Priestess, the Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, the King of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, Temperance, and the Six of Cups. Well, again, I just think that there is that idea of understanding, like confinement versus security, making this decision to, I think, again, just take all of the good things that you learned along the way and move in a new direction towards a new opportunity. I don't know if you guys are going on a trip. Maybe you're taking a business trip, and so if you're going on a business trip and I kind of get the idea of like, you had prepared this, you had like laid out this contract that you were going to do, or that you were going to present. And I almost feel like there was like a rewriting of a contract. That's what that feels like to me. Like, before I go on this trip, I'm going to rewrite this contract. If that's how it resonates for you. If it's a business thing for you, I feel like there is an idea here of like rewriting a contract and understanding why the terms that had been presented previously were very heavily weighted in one person's favor and very exclusive to the remainder of the people who would be involved in that contract. And I think understanding that you're not going to, like, that what you were presenting wasn't going to get you anywhere, and that you really needed to be a little bit more just aware, because if we're playing into that idea of empathy, it is very standard status quo to remove any sense of empathy when you are in business with someone. And I think that there is an idea here of like, if you want to have a healthy relationship in this business environment, you need to show empathy and humanity. you know, because you can stand for humanity, but standing for humanity doesn't mean demanding that everybody adhere to the herd. You know, oftentimes standing in humanity means the exact opposite of that. But I feel like however it's playing out for you, there is a decision to really like rewrite something and present it differently, because I think that you're successful in this endeavor. I think that, you know, you've got the Lovers, the Three of Cups, Temperance, the King of Pentacles, the High Priestess. I just kind of feel like this, like what's good for you is good for me. What's good for me is good for you. And at no point in time should there ever be a feeling that of like, I'm going to make you do this. And I don't care if you suffer, or, you know, like I'm going to force you to deal with these businesses and you don't really have a say. And you just being like, that's not going to fly, understanding that that's not going to fly, understanding why that won't fly. And I feel like showing up with your very best offer. I feel like just like putting your best foot forward, because you know that that's how you really are going to create that balance. That's how you're really going to experience that success. Okay, Aquas. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords, and Ace of Swords. Well, you know, again, I do kind of get this feeling of like rewriting a contract and you going in and you saying you have to do this, 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 and this. And, you know, because of these people, and that person being like, I'm really sorry, but there's no way in hell. And I don't even know why you think you could come at me like that. Like you have any right to demand that I adhere to other people and their ideas and their mentalities and their criticisms. They don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like they're too lost in the genericness of a herd to really have a concept of like understanding the details to anything. And I think that, again, there's just this, like, this decision had to be made to really, I don't know. I just feel like whatever it is, and I feel like that was in your last read, like permission to approach the bench and, you know, like trying to like revise this thing. I feel like you've been rejected and you've had to revise because otherwise you're not going to be able to, you know, do this thing. And yet I feel like this thing is very tempting to you. I feel like this thing is very like high level, but it's high level and beyond just the status quo business. You know what I mean? But again, I think that you are understanding this. You're coming in with a high level of energy that matches the energy that says, I will not accept that contract. No. And don't you dare insult me with some bullshit like that again. Do you know what I mean, though? like, come correct. You know, I just feel like there is this energy of like, nah. And I think that you've been, I feel like, I guess I would say you've been granted permission to approach the bench, but it's also like, I think with an awareness that like whatever this shit is that you were trying to drag through this door before ain't gonna fly. And you have permission to approach the bench, but you better approach it prepared. You know what I mean? Like that's what that is. Okay. Aquas. The Two of Wands, the King of Pentacles again, Justice. Well, I mean, the Two of Wands is the idea of like having to go in a different direction because of somebody else making it like a decision. And I think that like, again, that idea of like kind of approaching the bench with justice is, you know, just that idea of like, this is your opportunity, you know, like if you're, because again, the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords, it's like, you better make a good decision or you're going to go in another direction. I don't know. There is kind of this tension here I'm not really loving. And yet I feel like you have this chance. You know that you have this chance. You don't want to lose this opportunity. You know what I mean? Just kind of like this, like, okay, I'm going to bring my A game. I'm going to rewrite this contract. I'm going to da-da-da-da, you know, however it plays out for you individually. Let's do one last card for y'all. We'll call it a read. The Shaman. Yeah, I do. I really do. I feel like there's something that you're having to let go of. And honestly, whatever it is that I feel like you're letting go of, or that you're being forced to let go of, I think that it is one of those things where it was like you were trying to, like, I feel like you were coming to somebody trying to make demands and acting as though they had nothing to offer you, that they were just somebody. And that was in another one of your reads, like, lick my boots, you know what I mean? And like realizing that like you can't approach people that way, but like especially when they are like, they're somebody who has a lot to offer. You know, like you don't go to the Queen of England and tell her to lick your boots, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's dead, I know, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you do know what I'm saying. And I feel like there might be a part of you that's a little irritated that you have to rewrite this. And yet I think that like that's the very energy that was like getting you in that position in the first place. Because do you know how many people would love to have that opportunity? You know, like, do you know what a blessing it is to have that opportunity? And I feel like you didn't really know what a blessing it was to have that opportunity until you did. And then once you did, you decided to treat it like it was an opportunity that you should be really grateful to have, you know? Lessons we learn along the way, you know? Like, I feel like it's going to be a good thing for you. I feel like you'll win in the end. You know, I feel like you're rewriting it and you're getting it together. I just feel like there's been this process of releasing this like death grip on something and like an idea about how it had to be. And going through the process of being angry that you have to let it go, and then being, you know, like longing for and begging for this opportunity. And I think going your separate ways and things not really working. And you know what I mean? I just feel like this has been a really long, like back and forth until finally it was like, this has to end. And I think when it ends, you finally kind of realize, wait a second, you know, like that was me being arrogant. That was me existing in my ego. And you can be on the other side of the story. It doesn't have to resonate to you specifically. It can be an energy that you're dealing with. Take what resonates, how it resonates, and leave the rest. But if it does resonate, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.